It's been a minute since I brought back Pandemonium, so here we go. Hello, welcome back to my corner of the internet. As you guys can see from the title, today I want to share with you guys my updated collection of pans in my whole entire wardrobe. Like, I have everything out between eyeshadows, face palettes, single shadows, palettes with singles in it, you name it, here it is. It's very surprising and very eye-opening to see what it is that I have pan on today. As you know, and if you don't know, I'm the type of person that when I hit pan on something, I want to finish it off. It motivates me more to stick with the product and to finish it off. It's very rare for you to find any kind of face products with pan in my collection, just because I genuinely like to finish them off. So I don't know, maybe this year seems to be the year that I'm finishing things up, and I think next year maybe I might switch it every other year, where one year I do finishing off products, the next year is hitting pan on stuff. I don't know. But I'm getting the itch to hit pan on more things and to leave it there to then be able to have like a head start when I want to finish it off. Anyway, I have my products here and we're going to go ahead and show you guys what it is that in my collection I currently have pan on. So let's start out with the products that are for the face. So I have quite a few here. A lot of these are because they're in face palettes, not necessarily singles, which is very interesting to me. Seems like whenever it is in a single pan, I tend to finish it off. But if it's in a palette, I tend to leave it there because there's other products there and I just don't finish the whole thing at once, if that makes any sense. So it's very rare for me to have a single product pan that is for the face still around. So I'm going to show you the one and only one that I have in my whole entire collection. Everything else I have completely finished off. If you know bronzers, I tend to finish one off a whole year, and I don't have any ones that have pan because I just use them up. Same thing with blush. I've never actually hit a pan on a blush. So I'm hoping to change that in the future, but they're very difficult to pan. So I don't know. But anyway, the only product that is in my collection that has a pan that I still have is my Becca Opal. So this is still one that I use every time that I want to have that I'm going somewhere special, or I want to really look like I have a glow within without using a cream or liquid. This is what I reach for. And I contemplated in my Pan That Face palette this year to finish this one off, but I decided to bring in something else just because this one works for me for the majority of the year, so I'm not upset about it. I'm gonna eventually finish it off and just buy a new one because this is still available, but I really love it. The packaging broke. That's how old this one is. I already finished one full size of this one in Moonstone. So this was my Opal one that I love, and there's something about this. And I'm curious to see if they change the formula because this is the OG one. So anyway, this is the only one that I have that is a single product in my collection that still has a pan that has not been finished. All right, so let me share with you guys my face palettes. You guys know that this is what I've been working on all year. I've been working on this palette for years now, and I am not even halfway done with either one of these. There's 6 products in each, 3 powder, 3 cream. I've been solely working on the cream products in these 2 palettes for years now, and I'm still not done. So that just tells you how much and how far your money goes. And if you're contemplating on a high-end product, it may be worth it for you because these have lasted a long time and they're still kicking strong. They're not breaking out my face. They're not irritating me. It's still working fine. So anyway, the one that I have in my Pan That Face palette is Daria. I just started using the one cream, so I don't care to show you because if you saw that update, you saw where I am here. I currently have 3 pans in this one. And I am hoping to at least finish this one off and then expand this one and hopefully finish this one off by the end of the year. I don't know. At the end of the year, I might have 2 empties and 1 that will be completely done. These are powders, so these are going to last a lot longer, so I'm not really too worried about them. In this one, I ended up putting all the blushes. So in this one, I have 1 empty pan and 2 blushes that have pan. So eventually, I do want to finish off these blushes as well. Now that we have accessibility to powders that are different shades and that are inexpensive, I can feel a little bit more comfortable using like these brighter corals on my face all year round without them looking too orangey, because sometimes they pull or they're too bright. But if I tone it down with like a lavender or purple powder, it'll help. So I'm hoping to do that, and I'm going to experiment with that to be able to prep myself to use these. But anyway, that's 5 pans so far that you have seen. Here is another one that I have been panning for a very long time. This one I used this year again, and I have another pan. Actually, I used 2 products this year, one completely and one has a pan in it. So this is the Tarte Pro Glow one. This is the first one that they brought out. These are all magnetic, by the way. If you have this palette, this is magnetic, so I would not get rid of this because you can pop these out and repress stuff in it, and that's what I've been doing. So this one is in my empties box because I completely finished this one off this year completely. And believe it or not, you guys, this still smells like chocolate. This one was Strobe. So Strobe is completely emptied out. These 2 were the bronzers that were down here. I have them here now because whenever I use this, I just open up one side. So I could just do this. So this is the pan that we have right now, and this is the actual pan that it belongs to. This is Fire, and I use this one up in conjunction with my NARS one. So I have pan in that one. I contemplated on finishing this one off this year because I can. It'll work really nice like with my tan right now. But I just wanted to give myself a break from this and just use something else. So I do have a pan in here. Maybe next year this will be done. I have 3 more face palettes, and you guys, it should be no surprise because I was on a roll with these about 2-3 years ago. My Natasha Denona Tan palette, this was the inspiration to the new tan eyeshadow palette that they have out. I have pan on both of the cream products in here. I've yet to touch the powder. I tend to reach for the creamier parts, the liquid parts more because they're going to go bad faster than the powder, and I can still stick with the powder. This one is the Bloom. This one was the hardest one to pan because of this red shade, and believe it or not, now everyone and their mom has like a red burgundy cream blush. So now nobody should be afraid of this kind of blush because it's in every single formula, in every single brand, but this is my OG one, and I really loved how it looked. I'm not gonna lie to you, I really enjoyed it, and this is why I was not afraid of MAC Big Diva Energy because this is identical to that because I love it. It's just a different formula. Those 2 are different formulas. So I pan in those, and then the Love palette. This one has pan again in the 2 shimmery shades here. So you guys can see that right there. And then the powders are still intact because I'm working on that. I do have one more Natasha Denona one in the bronze I've yet to touch because I went back to the larger ones to finish those off. All right, so let's move on to singles, shall we? Before we move on to the palettes that I have, I want to move on to the single ones that I have because, again, this one's where it's hard for me to hit pan on. I have a lot of pigments. I have a lot of cream products. So for me, this is where it's really tough for me to stick to one eyeshadow because, again, if I'm sticking to a single eyeshadow, I tend to finish it off. So these are the 3 that I do have. This one is an Old Stila Duo in Jade. She came out with like 4 different colors. I have all 4 of the shades. I have a pan in the green right there. So, and this is a beautiful formula. I really do like this one. These L'Oreal Color Rouge ones, they no longer make these, which is sad. I was able to replace my matte one, the one that I use all the time. I was able to replace it because mine was so beat up and old. I replaced it and I bought a backup because I love it so much. It's currently in my everyday makeup drawer because I do use that one a lot in the summer. Anyway, this one is called Quartz Fume. I use this as an eyeliner, and I was able to hit pan on that. You guys can see how deep these are. These are like a cream to powder, which is interesting because L'Oreal was ahead of their time because now we see a lot of cream to powder eyeshadows around. So I have this. And then my most recent one is my MAC Painterly, which I'm very proud of. I have hit the bottom of the jar, and I'm hoping to be able to hit more of these MAC paint pots in the future because I have almost the whole collection, and I love these for my eyeshadows. I'm currently wearing Laying Low on my eyes. I always have one on at all times. It doesn't matter what time of the year. So this is the other pan that I hit the most of. Okay, so let's go into my Z palettes that have the singles. So first, we're bringing in this one. This is just a Z palette with a bunch of mini ColourPop. Now, I used to have a ton of ColourPop eyeshadow palettes. I realized that I didn't need them all. 1, 2, they weren't my all-time favorite formula to keep all those around, so I did end up selling a few. I ended up giving a lot away, and a lot of them I ended up just picking out the shades that I wanted to keep. So that's what this Z palette is. It's like a hodgepodge of shades that I kept that I really do enjoy, and I do have this pan in this one. Now I was smart enough to be to put down what palette they were from, not the name of the palette, but just the actual palette. So I do have the name of the palette that each of these came from, and it's like the number, and I put the number according to where it sat in the palette, so I can always look it up, but that's this one. So this one is from the So Jaded palette. Yep, this is number 7. So it was the 7th one across from the So Jaded palette. So that is my pan, you guys. I don't know. I might just pan eyeshadows on my own time like I've been doing instead of doing it as a project pan. I feel like it's too much pressure for me to do it in a project pan, but I think that I can do it behind the scenes just to add more pan to my life. I think I can. This is another one where I just have a bunch of different ones. These are from my Nabla palettes, Urban Decay I have in here. I have, I don't even know where half of these came from, but I have quite a bit in here, and I have a pan in this one right here, which is an old Estee Lauder Duo. I really love it. This, I'm telling you, the old school stuff just lasts, and this one is the one that I have. I rearranged this palette so many times. This is a complete all matte palette of the potted shadows that I have. And believe it or not, I do reach for this. I just reached for this last week. I do reach for this. Whenever a palette doesn't have what I need, I have what I want in here. All different depths and different shades. So this one does have one pan in it. Then we have this one that is made up of, I don't know if you guys remember, Ardency In and Tarte single shadows that they used to have. And this one has pan in the corner right there. This one is called Whiskey from Tarte. It is a beautiful shade. These came from like a duo. These are another Tarte duo. Like this is a really good one. I really like these shadows. So anyway, I have a pan in this one as well. Then we have the Big Mama Z palette. They don't, obviously Colored Rain is no longer a brand, but they used to have these really large ones, and I personally didn't purchase these. These were gifted to me by a friend here on Instagram. She sent me a few of them because she wasn't using them. This came with a huge mirror, you guys. This is actually a really good palette. So I keep all of my Makeup Geek shadows in here. Yes, I still have Makeup Geek shadows. I don't care what you're gonna tell me. I still use them. I love them. You guys can see that they're well loved and well taken care of, you guys. They still rock. So I have one pan there. This one I should finish off, and then this one. I believe this one is Shroom, right? No. Shimma Shimma. It's a dupe of it is Shroom. And this one is Creme Brulee. So those are, and I have tried to hit pan on other ones. Like you can see that this blue one right here has a nice dip to it. I have a dip in this one. Like I'll go through these again. I think I went through these to get rid of the ones that I wasn't using. But yeah. So I have 2 pans in this large one. And believe it or not, since it's really thin, it doesn't take up much space in my drawers. Last but not least is eyeshadow palettes. Now, before I show you the ones that have pan in them, bear in mind that I had a ton of eyeshadow palettes that had pan in them because I did a few years of pan those eyeshadows. But as I continued to do that project, it made me realize that I was panning palettes I didn't care to have in my collection. So I was putting in all the work and all the effort into having my numbers go down, percentages go up on pan and eyeshadow palettes, and I just didn't care to keep those palettes in my collection. So I went through about 2 years ago and completely downsized. I mean, I got rid of hundreds of palettes, yes, hundreds of palettes in my collection, and narrowed it down to what I like. And as you guys can see, I'm not really buying a lot of eyeshadow palettes now. I still have a significant amount, more than I need to, but I no longer have more than the amount of days in 1 year. That I am proud of. That is where I measure my eyeshadow palettes. If I can't pull out 1 palette per day without repeating, I have a problem. And I have far less than that right now, and I'm very happy with that, and I'm content with that. So I only have 2 palettes. One of them has survived that many amount of declutter, and the other one is a relatively new one that doesn't need to be decluttered. So the first one is my Sultry palette. You guys know that I am just using this one every single day for the whole entire year. It's been something that I really have been enjoying. I've been reaching for it. Next year, I don't know what I'm going to do yet, but I've been really enjoying it. So for this one, I have 1 pan in here, and I've cleared out 4 eyeshadows in here. So this is a very significant thing for me because I've never done that before. And then the other palette is my Danessa Myricks Groundwork. This one has 4 pans in them in the putty. Now these are moldable, blendable, like they can move around in the pan, so the pan can go away when I put my brush in there, they can come back. But I do have 4 pans in here, and this is something that sits on my vanity right now because during the summertime, this is the perfect one to use. I'm actually contemplating on whether this should be my next year one or not. I don't know yet. Haven't decided. That's all the pan that I have in my collection. I don't have a lot. Like I said, I tend to finish a lot of products off. You will see pan in my collection throughout my project pan videos. So as you guys see updates in my project pans, you will see the pan that has been there for months, weeks, whatever the case may be. But it's just, I tend to finish off my products because I don't want those to linger. I want to have an empty. So I might change it up. I might do more panning and keeping it throughout, doing maybe harder products that I know will take me a long time to hit pan on, but I don't want to necessarily finish it off, give myself a break. Something to the effect of what I normally have been doing with this palette right here. So with this palette, I finished off the bronzers. Like both bronzers were done, but the highlighters have been taking me a little bit longer to finish off. I'm leaving them like that, giving myself a little bit of a head start for the following year or for whenever I am doing a different project and I need to throw something in that gives me the boost in confidence to finish a product off without having to really put in a ton of work because half the work has been done for me already. So that's it, you guys. That's it. It's not a lot, but I am proud of it. A lot of the products, like I said, have had pan in them. They're gone. They're no longer in my life. They have been gone and left. A lot of the products that I also now use are either in a stick form or a liquid form that it's very difficult to see the bottom. You understand, like my cream blushes, that's all that I'm using a lot of, and that have bottoms on them, but they're cream blushes. How much can I put on my face? And then shadow sticks, that's another thing. I'm using a lot of shadow sticks, and that's not something you can see the bottom of. So my preferences and what I use in makeup has also changed. That's why my pan percentage and my pans in my life have also changed, because a lot of things that I use now don't have bottoms. So if that makes any sense, I hope you guys don't think I'm like, Alex, you do so much panning and you don't have that much in your life that has pan. It's because I finish a lot of things off, or they just aren't products that show a bottom. So that's it, you guys. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'd love to know what you guys think about what I have and how much pan do you have in your life. Maybe it's more than me, obviously. Some of you guys may not, and that's okay too. One pan is better than none. All I did was start out with I remember my Wet n Wild single shadow. I hit pan on that, and that's where my journey started to be okay with finishing off products and getting that mindset of keeping everything pristine. All right, guys, thank you guys so much for watching. May God bless you always. I will catch you guys in the next video.